Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, yeah. This book.
Wanda, what's going on?
In front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
right,
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Rickey Smiley was going to play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. So what Rickey Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Cat Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Stephen Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Rickey Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Rickey Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women. And I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie. So that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Cat Williams in there.
I don't know, Cat. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Sam's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
It seems to me, Cat, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform. If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened. It's untrue. And there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. What is your relationship with Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer as you sit here currently?
For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't 3 random guys. The way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven said he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. They know who the gang is. Why Earthquake not in movies? 'Cause he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. Like, all of these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets. And this is the age of truth. And the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies. Cats on drugs. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold a drug to me, did a drug with me, was around me when I was inebriated? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. Why would we tell these ridiculous stories? Because it's competition. You feel like, well, why comedy guys can't just get along?
Yes.
Why didn't you get along with the other teams you were competing against? If you're a Denver Bronco, why you don't get along with the Cowboys? Something wrong with you?
But I don't disagree. I don't dislike all the Cowboys. Cat, damn, you like this?
No, that's
okay,
not.
What comedians do you like?
Did you play against the team?
Yes.
I've taken 46 comedians with me on the road. 46.
Okay.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business.
Faison just caught a stray.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? 0.
So
why is he allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people? We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. as a journalist. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen. Amen.
Gee. I kind of get on here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah.
Oh, because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Cat because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan to play. Like I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that no one's ever heard. Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Cat. Normally when people will give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time and they're giving information no one else knows or has ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made. All lies. Steven
Thanks, my
Cedric
boy.
never
What up?
performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built.
So
all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Cat Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Cat Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you got to be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not going to have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay. Let's get to your upbringing. We're going to circle back and we'll get some...
I want to protect it real quick because you had said for the Kings of Comedy, it was in 2018, 2019, but did you mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
No, I didn't. No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have any of those TV shows at the time.
I know you talking about Cedric.
Joke stealing from Cedric.
Cedric.
Okay.
So you had said that 2018, 2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998. Okay. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, So
let's go back and clear that up.
Okay.
You said, I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Cat 30 times and Cat didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Can you believe we're this deep into the NFL season? We got to make every second count. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you can make the most out of every game day. Bet on your favorite teams for a shot at winning big bucks. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets or betting $5 on any matchup. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the app now. Use code Shannon. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on the NFL. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Shannon. The crown is yours.
Let's get to your upbringing. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio. What was Cat Williams' upbringing like? Your parents were Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Cat Williams Crunk coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believe that. I immediately. My next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set, you think you're one of the smartest people in the world,
right,
only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything, you know? So it was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on, you know what I mean? So yeah. It came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of, or it didn't exist at the time?
No, it wasn't that. It was I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I'm.
Oh, there's Jimmy John's across the street. We can order a sub.
But
you've been on the submarine. That what you sub?
So back then it was even greater. So you got this guy that all the coaches want to play.
Man, Cass, don't do that.
Hold on, because I'm 5'5" in the 5th grade. I've been this size my whole life. Like there was a portion of school where I was one of the big dudes. Like as soon as everybody caught their growth spurt, I was out of there. But I'm saying I was a competitive individual. My father was an athlete.
I can see that.
Like, no, I've been 145 pounds my whole career. That's why I never bothered when they said, your cat's on drugs. I knew, how you gonna prove that? My body is a temple.
I've been the same size since I was 10.
Like, what do you? Yeah, like I haven't changed off this pivot foot. This has always been who I was before stand up or anything. But it was an interesting childhood. I appreciate my parents, even though I couldn't live within the religious frameworks of what they had set up. But that was more not wanting to live a double life and not want to embarrass my family. You know what I mean? Because
I read where a form of punishment for you is that they would take books because you mentioned you were such a voracious reader. And a form of punishment was when they would take the books for because you could read fluently. You told me how at like 3 or 4 years old, you could read, not just a little child's book, but you could read.
Well, I'm saying when we go to Haiti to do missionary work, understand that my mother and my father, nobody that's there with us speaks French. And it speaks Creole and reads French. So I'm in charge of everything from the housing to the cars to the gardener. Like I'm saying, so I'm not just reading, I'm reading in multiple languages. Like
how old are you?
I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12. No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
You could drive at 12. You received a full scholarship to the National Science Academy in Dayton, Ohio, but you failed, so you couldn't become. So you would become ineligible. Why didn't you want to take that opportunity?
I didn't see it as an opportunity. When I got in there, all the students were wearing lab coats, and it seemed very confined and restricted, and nobody seemed like they were having fun. It just seemed like everybody was smart. I didn't want that. That wasn't what I was signing up for at all. And plus, I thought that Jesus was my big homie. So you know how you get a story about a dude joined the gang and you get a big homie, right? Like at this particular point in my life, my thought is that the Bible is the greatest book that's ever been written.
Okay.
That it houses the truth, and that it gives you this story of Jesus, and that I'm supposed to be like him.
Okay.
So it's already in my head that as soon as I get 13, I'm leaving.
You at 13, you don't only like, okay, mom, I'm moving out. You moved from Ohio to Florida on your own. You weren't afraid. I mean, you like, did you?
Hold on.
Did you not have? So what were you going to do when you got to Florida?
Don't say I wasn't afraid. There's no such thing as a human being of not being afraid.
Okay.
There are certain human beings that understand that being afraid in no way stops you from doing what you got to do.
Okay.
So I was afraid, but
Chris, what up,
I couldn't
cuz?
be that afraid because I knew what had happened with Jesus. I knew how it worked out. I knew that I wasn't in the wrong with how I was feeling, and I knew that I didn't have any bad intentions in it.
Right.
So I trusted God that it would work out.
Why Florida?
Because if you're raised in Ohio, the one thing on your list is, I'm gonna get away from snow, and I'm gonna get as far. I want to go. Tell me the place. I literally went to a truck stop and I asked all the truck drivers where they was going, and there was one guy going to California, and there was one guy going to Florida, and they told me how long it was gonna take, and so that's why I ended up in Miami. Because
how'd you get there? You caught a bus?
No, I just told you. I was at the truck stop.
So you hitchhiked?
I got in. I didn't hitchhike. I got in the back of the dude's 18-wheeler. Me and my Rottweiler puppy and my suitcase. Yeah, because I probably had $2,500 on me. Like I was shoveling snow and cutting grass. Like I always had pockets full of money.
When did you make the decision that you were going to leave Ohio and go somewhere? And it ended up being Florida. So, but when did you know that you were leaving Dayton, Ohio, going to Florida?
In my father and I's last interaction, somebody could have not made it. And we both understood that was all bad.
What was the disagreement about?
If you say that my family is very religious, just say I'm not. So anything that I'm going to do is going to fall out of the guidelines.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you tell me what I'm going to be, especially if what you're saying is wrong. I can't condone wrong. And if I find out that something is wrong and I tell you it's wrong and you don't back me.
Chris Shadell said, what up, bro?
Even as a young child, you were willing to tell your parents that some of the things that you're saying doesn't coincide with what I've been reading in the Bible.
No, very simply. Don't try to disfellowship me for sexual acts and I'm a virgin. Sorry, God don't make mistakes. You don't get 2 times to fuck me over. What do you mean you went to God and he told you I was guilty? You just lied on God. So long. That's it. There's no conversation. Deuces. That's what it was.
That's when you made the decision. After that conversation right there, you say, "No, I can't live under this roof."
It wasn't a conversation. It was an altercation. In the altercation, I love my father. My father loved me. But we are 2 men at it. It'll never be the same again. You can't sleep comfortably around me. And I can't sleep comfortably around you.
How similar are you to your father?
I don't know. He's a great man. I'm saying,
Because it seems like y'all butted heads.
Right, but I'm saying that generally happens with a father-son dynamic. It was just that religious relationships are always difficult in families. They always are.
Before it got to the point, because the dynamic, he's father, your son. Before that dynamic, and you step up on his level and you challenge him, you felt it was best for you to leave.
No. I'm not being challenged. I'm being beat to death.
Oh, he was abusive.
I didn't say that. I said we were in an altercation.
I see what you did there. I saw what you did there, Cat.
Yeah.
I saw what you did. You was in an altercation. You didn't say you lost. You said you was in an altercation.
I in no way gave you the impression that I won anything. I'm the one leaving. I'm out of bounds. This is his house.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as I'm going to be under his roof, there are certain things that I'm going to have to do.
Right.
And the only way that's going to change is either this or that. And I'm saying I had two younger brothers. Like I'm not an unreasonable person. Like I don't have any mental issues whatsoever, despite what they lead people to believe. You know, I make pretty good decisions.
Were you not? So how was their relationship with your father? Were you not afraid to leave them?
Well, I asked because it went all the way to the actual department. So it was actually going to be something. And when I asked them if they could just make sure that my brothers didn't get separated and what have you, they said they couldn't make those type of guarantees, that they weren't really sure what would happen if this went down. And so part of leaving was the hope that it would be okay for them, because none of them experienced what I experienced. I'm saying I'm the oldest. It's a lot riding on me. I'm supposed to at least religiously hold down the family's name at this household. Right. You know what I mean?
How much older are you than the baby and the knee baby?
Like a lot older. Like if I'm
12, 13.
Yeah, they're 5 and in Pampers.
Wow. You go to Florida. You tell the story. I've heard you were homeless, and somebody else told the story, said they were homeless, and you said they hijacked your story. Now I don't.
At 13, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm homeless. I'm in Miami, Florida. I have no family members in Florida. I couldn't buy a house if I wanted to. I couldn't get an apartment if I wanted to. I don't have a credit history. Like, this is not a stretch for me to say that I'm homeless. I'm living in a park in Coconut Grove. The park still exists to this day. For 8 hours a day, I would get up and go to the library and study for 8 hours a day to increase my education. And then I would leave out of there and go to the marina and steal car radios and make $2,000 almost daily. Like, I had a routine.
So you really could have played that Santa old thief and Santa Claus. You could have played it.
No, the Santa Claus wasn't a thief. The Santa Claus, you can't tell me. I read the script. Ricky Smiley told you he didn't read the script. The Santa Claus was a crackhead. He just had that outfit on. That's what I couldn't have played.
Okay.
Like I couldn't have played a black guy that got raped in the bathroom.
Right. So at any point in time, you like, man, I made a mistake, man. I should have stayed my butt in Ohio, man, because this ain't what I signed up for.
I didn't experience anything once I left home that I hadn't signed up for. If anything, it saved my life. Me being homeless for that small period of time allowed me to see all of the people that were in that situation and to see that these were lawyers and doctors and teachers, and that these people were white and black and Asian and Indian. And the only thing that all of these homeless people had in common was They made a bad decision and aligned themselves with drugs. And I interviewed them all. What drug? And guess what, Shannon? Nobody had a great story. Nobody had a great story of what meth had done for them, what crack had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them stories. Everybody's story was, I had my life together. And then I decided to do this dumb thing. And I lost my wife, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost my reputation, and I'm now out here sucking penis in the woods. What? Talk about scared straight. You ain't got to worry about me. If it ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I done seen what these things can do to people. Anything that take over your free will is the devil itself.
Have you ever thought about what your life would have been had you stayed in Dayton, Ohio?
No, that's like asking somebody that's in the NBA for 14 years, like, what would have happened if you didn't come to the NBA? Oh, I shudder to think. I thought it was what I was made for. I thought it was what I was built for. Anybody that knows me will tell you that when they first met Cat Williams, when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name. Look, the truth of the matter is Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Cat Williams. That's all that happened. I have been this same product the entire time. They will tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this. This is what I bring. This is my style.
When did you know were you always funny? Did you always want to be a comedian? Did you stumble on a comedianship?
No, I loved what they did. And so I studied them, all of them. I studied all of the white comedians because I wanted to know, why is Monty Python funny? Why is Don not so talented? I wanted to know, what is George Carlin's thing? Like, so I studied all of the comedy masters regardless of the field because I loved to laugh. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that these people were making a great living at doing this. I thought this is just what they did. They tell jokes. They're funny people, but I loved the craft. And that's why when I got into the craft, I thought it was my obligation to make sure that I kept writing new material so much that it forced these comedians to stop doing the set they've been doing for 10 years and keep writing some new stuff. And I knew that if I could get that to take on, that most of these bums would have to just quit comedy because they can't keep up. They're not going to keep writing an hour worth of material.
Right.
I've written an hour worth of material 19 times. They're not going to do it. Why? Because they're not creative writers. They want to get somebody else and have them write it and put it together.
So if I'm listening to you correct me if I'm wrong. I think the best thing that ever happened was the internet, because now they have to. Because normally, like you said, you could do a set and you do that set in Kansas City. People ain't heard it in San Francisco. People ain't heard it in Miami. They ain't heard it in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, so forth and so on. Now you do a set, it's on the internet. Somebody heard it. So you can't do a set and make it last 3 months, 4 months.
Well, it doesn't allow the regular comic the ability to grow is the real problem. Like, the part of comedy is me taking these jokes in January, and by March, I've begun to craft this joke. Okay. It's not as simple as it was. When I wrote it, it was just da-da-da-da-da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Colorado audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people.
Okay.
And so this is what sharpens your joke. You then take those sharpened jokes and make a special. Not you just randomly take some.
Mhm.
So it's a process. You don't allow them to process if the first time the guy did the joke, now that's his joke and the joke is everywhere. That just sets it up for people to steal.
So how many times must you tell a joke before you master it?
How many times have you had to sleep with a woman before you done with her? That's not fair. If it's great, never. if it ceases to have usefulness, so it has been spoken. Right.
I read that you was raised in Florida. You had some help, some ladies of the night.
No.
That's not true.
No, that whole story doesn't take place in Florida. That story takes place in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So after I'm in Florida, I then join, I try to join the Marine Corps and they won't accept me because I'm too young and I've lied and told them I'm 16 and my family's moving down and I don't have my ID, but it's coming. And so they let me go to the boot camp, That's not gonna work now. Okay, so I've learned that lesson. So then I get this job selling stuff door to door. Across the country. And so I've been to all 50 states. Again, I'm 14 years old. So I did that. While I'm doing that, one of the places I'm at, I'm in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And I've decided I'm going to stay here because of meeting these ladies that you're talking about and that situation. I don't know at the time why that's important in my life or why it's something I should be doing or any of that. But now later on, it certainly helps me in formulating Money Mike for Friday After Next.
Right.
And a pimp named Slickback for the Boondocks.
Oklahoma, so San Francisco, Oklahoma, Sacramento. From Florida, you moved to the West Coast. So you traveling. When did you set up shop on the West Coast? How old were you then?
So I guess I'm 18 or younger, and once I have a child, I realized that I can't. It's a lot of things that I could use to make money that now is a no-go. So anything with street aspirations that I might have thought about pursuing or been good at, I now am a single parent and I gotta redo this thing. So I need comedy to really work out for me. Right. And me and God go into extreme conversation where I'm explaining to him that I'm a crash out dummy if he don't send me a lifeline. Like I need something I can hold on to. Before I had left Florida, I did stand up one time because we was trying to get in the club. I didn't have ID. So I said I was a comedian. They ended up having me do 5 minutes. But I kept that in my head that I had done that. When we get to Oklahoma, they're having a competition for stand-up. And if you win, you get to go out on the road with Jeff Foxworthy and Dan Whitney, who is Larry the Cable Guy, and Richard Jenny, and these great comics. You get to open for them. And once I did that, I realized, okay, as a comedian, I'm like way behind schedule. I done started this too late. All the funny guys are already funny and known names. Like, how am I going to progress? So I realized that I do better with a white audience than I do with a black audience. And I'm not sure why that's occurring, but the white audience likes me more. That's interesting. So when I moved to Sacramento, it's because Sacramento has a white and a black audience, almost 50-50. That's almost the makeup of Sacramento. So I live in Sacramento for 2 years until I get to the point where I am equally as funny if the room is black as I am if the room is white. That's not enough. Now I need to be one of the good ones when it comes to black comics. So now I have to move to Oakland, and that's what lands me in Oakland for 3 years. Once I have dominated male black comedy in Oakland to my liking, now I'm prepared to go to Los Angeles now. Now I know you can't throw me any curveballs. If it's a white audience, if it's a black audience, no matter what they are, I'm prepared to deal with all of the audiences.
Do
So
you
that's-
write jokes according to the audience that you're going to be in front of, or is your joke universal?
Well, in the beginning, part of my framework is that I'm tailoring every show to this audience.
Okay.
And that's how I was able to show my range and show that I was better than my competitors, is that I'm Cat Williams, but I was still doing clean comedy. So I was still going to churches and doing 45 minutes of stand-up at the church with no curse words, no sex, drug material, no none of that, just straight stand-up. And then I was doing everything else. And
At the regular club.
yeah, that was the range, is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that's how I started. But as you begin to get better, you begin to be able to speak to your entire fan base. And that's really what's been helpful, is that I've been having the same conversation with my fan base for 12 comedy specials.
Is that
So-
what set Cat Williams apart? Is your range? Is that you can do a comedy, do 45 minutes in the church. I can go to a comedy club in front of 250, or I can go into an arena with 15,000. That's range, because everybody can't do that, Cat.
Well, if that's what range is called, then yeah, it's range. But I like the people I'm talking to.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it can't be
Your
condescending,
maximum is already.
because I'm talking to my white male friend when I'm telling that white joke.
Right.
When I'm talking about this joke about this black lady, I know that black lady. That's who I'm talking to. I'm speaking to this fan base that I've been speaking to from the beginning. I already told them what I was on when I first came in. I told them they was gonna come after me. They was gonna cancel me. They was gonna say terrible things about me and try to mess my life up. I said that coming into stand up. I'm saying it in my.
So you
first-
knew it was going to be.
It has to be. I know I'm going into the belly of the beast. How could I be naive? I know that I'm going into Satan's playground, but I'm trying to be so good that you got to bring me in so close that I can see who's doing what and what's going on in there.
In San Francisco, you joined the Nation.
I was ever in San Francisco. I was in Oakland.
You was in Oakland. Did you join the Nation? Is that?
Yeah, Honorable Minister Farrakhan and I have an extremely close relationship. He refers to me as one of his sons. So yeah, I spent a particular period of time. Let me explain.
Yes.
Because my particular background was already religious and super strict, right? I didn't find out about other religions by reading about them. I went to their religion. I don't want to learn from Jewish people from outside. I want to be in a synagogue. I don't want to learn about Muslim people from. I want to be in a mosque. I don't want to hear about the Baptist or the Pentecostal. I want to go to their church and see. And so that was the religious discovery that I was on through that period in my life.
When did you know you were funny?
Probably about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
So you didn't think as a child, because obviously you said the very structured background, your family was very religious. So obviously you didn't get an opportunity.
I never did a talent show. I was never in any extracurricular activities. I was never in drama. I was never in band camp. I was never a Boy Scout.
And you didn't stay in school long enough to get funny because you dropped.
You understand? You understand? So there was no, I don't tolerate high school games. I didn't go to high school. I don't know how most of the games they think I play, I'm not even aware of them.
But Cat, for you to get on stage, and like I said, a lot of people, like a lot of comedians, I had a few here, they're like, okay, I told jokes to get girls, I told jokes to, get people to laugh at someone else. You
Say hi to my Facebook.
opportunity, like in Oklahoma, that they were going to take you out if you won the talent show. You was going to go on the road
He
with
said
these,
I'm on your
well-known
Facebook.
comedians.
And I did.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, how
Wait, why
in
is
Florida
he live
at 13,
on
14 years of age, you like
I told
16,
you
I
was
can do
live.
that.
Not on
Well,
Facebook.
because I knew that there were a lot of other
Yeah.
things I could do. Like when I looked at drug dealers, I thought I could do that.
Yeah.
You
But
see what I'm
that's
saying?
easy.
Are people
So
watching right now?
who doesn't like that?
Huh?
Right.
Are people watching
I'm
right
trying
now?
to figure out how I'm gonna make it. But now that I got to do it on this,
It's me, Mazzaria.
Who got on the mask? She did. That's Mazzaria. That's Mazzaria. She did.
I'm not gonna lie, I do look a bit busted right now. Don't even worry about it.
Specs, what up, bro? Hit the link, bro. Hey, niece. Yo,
I'm a little sick, so I got on a mask.
she's sick, y'all. Look at her. Damn, she's sick, y'all.
Buddy, come get your food.
Specs in the building. Look at Buddy that ran past.
You want hot sauce?
So
Hot sauce. Put it away.
we keep watching this club Shay Shay.
You might take it to the refrigerator.
Where the link at? I sent you the link, bro. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, bro.
side, but no, your question was, when did I think I was funny? I never was my biggest fan. To this day, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm a fan of comedy. I like great comedians. Like, I like Chappelle. I like Patrice O'Neal. Like, I like the greats of comedy because I do. Like, I like Ron White. I like Bill Engvall. Like, I know comics. Like, people that did The Craft, they raised me. I was touring with Steve Marmel and Richard Jenny and real journeymen. Mm-hmm. So my comedy upbringing was standard. I thought you had to work all night, every night, all around the country, and you had to write jokes, and that you were trying to write jokes that other people weren't writing, and that your job was to be funnier. Like, people that know me will tell you I've been on this. Like, I had a list of all the Black comedians that were more famous than me. There was 300 of them on the list, and I had to be able to cross them all out before I could make it to the next level, before I felt like I was funny enough to do that. And so
they can't hear the interview because we loud.
I appreciate what competition does for sports and for my particular sport. And comedy is a sport.
What gave you the confidence that you could get on stage?
You remember I was 5 years old on stage.
Okay. So performing in front of people was no problem.
But I was reiterating God's word at that point. Oh. Now, I just have to make sure that the content is good. If the content is good, what part can I not do? I'm a vessel. He's given me these gifts to be able to do certain things. So I just want to utilize them in my craft. That's all.
Do you remember your first set?
Mm-hmm.
How long? 5-10 minutes?
No. I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Standing ovation, boos, some applause, some jeers?
No, none of that. They applauded like I was a professional at it. But now looking back, I understand, because you got to understand, they were all thinking, he don't even look old enough to be in here. And we don't have any Black guys that live in this town.
Right.
Where did he come from? And then he gets up there, and for 3 minutes, he's talking about the fact that he is the entire Black community.
Right.
And he is as disappointed in them. It looked like they looking for where the rest of them is. And so is he. And that was his set. But I understood from that point that the truth is really the commodity, and the fact that we are all individuals and all separate and all our own islands, but not in real life. In real life, it's only 5 or 6 different types of people, and you're going to see them everywhere that you go. And all my enemies all look the same in the eyes, whether it's Faison, Wanda, Aries Spears, they all look like...
Man, what you got against Wanda Sykes? You think I don't remember that?
Sir? Wanda Sykes and Wanda Smith are two separate people.
I mean, Wanda Smith.
And I had only said
Wanda
one
Sykes.
name, sir.
Wanda Sykes
I'm
is
cursed,
amazing. I love Wanda.
and I agree.
I love Wanda.
I
That's my
agree.
girl.
Mine
But
as well.
I remember on the radio, you went on a radio interview. If I'm not mistaken, that's in Atlanta.
Right.
And you came on there with seemingly good intentions. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
attacked you.
It wasn't just that part. It was the fact that before I go in there, she has a conversation about, okay, now, I just want to talk to you because you just won an Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on.
Right. Okay.
And we won't talk about your kids. We won't
Oh,
talk
you asked
about
for-
jail,
you
no
asked for the link
cases. We
was
ain't going to
then,
talk
nigga.
about none of that.
Right.
And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never going to call you out of your name. I'm never going to say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line I got to call, but this lady is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled. Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory. So why are you trying to shame me with something in a community I don't even belong in? There's no gay people saying I belong over there or been over there.
You did
But I have no hatred of over there, and how dare you?
You did a number on it, though.
Hey,
You did a number on it.
No.
That's legendary.
no, you either believe in karma or you don't.
Reactions done.
Because I didn't even know any of the stuff that she had done to my fellow comedians until
Ruben.
I just know that it was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend, not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand, I'm losing my life for participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's two comedians. What do you mean? And the world was okay with it because it was me. Had that happened to anyone else, the world went crazy when Will smacked Chris. This is a person pulling a whole gun on a comedian in the confines of their job. It's really a weird situation when they hate you.
But it's
that
not
much.
working.
You felt she hated you in
No.
that moment because you mentioned that she said it was going to be very professional. Oh, you won an Emmy. Congratulations. You put the city on. You own for the city. Yada, yada, yada. And now, did she mention anything about the Emmy on camera?
Hold on.
I believe you saw the video and you know that none of that took place. See, the issue is that all the comedians have to come do these radio stations
Right.
because you have to sell your tickets. And so that means you have to go to the radio station.
Yes.
I don't go to the radio station and I don't make posts to sell tickets. I just don't. So you've not seen me. I'm not here in some subservient position
No.
where somebody sent me over.
You here out of the kindness of your heart. You are.
No, I'm saying
In
the interview
yes.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
For sure.
Yeah, and this person knew I wasn't there for that it's
But how hard? Because you have to understand, she is a female. And so you have to be careful. You have to handle her with kid gloves.
Sir,
Hey, Messiah.
you want to go ahead and take that out? You don't want to be against equality, do you?
No.
What you just said was very unequal, sir.
Bruh, but
I think maybe you've had enough of this. Because I think I just heard you say that women are not equal and should be treated unequally.
They want to be treated.
You mean
equal.
as a comedian?
No. Listen, you understand and I understand.
Yeah.
In certain situations, they want to be treated equal. Not all situations.
And what part of what you saw her get?
Oh, she deserved everything you gave her.
What part would have been different if she was a man? It would have just been more vicious.
Yeah, that's my point.
I took all the vicious and venom away because I didn't have any. Plus, I understood I'm not trying to offend black women with short hair. I'm not trying to offend heavyset women. I'm not trying to upset fellow comedians. I'm not trying to do any of that. And I am qualified to be able to do none of that and still eviscerate you because I'm smart enough to know that I need to say that you have gnarled fingers because I know your limited education means you don't know what the word means. So you can't possibly respond to it. You're not sure of the meaning. And I'm going to continue hitting you because this is what comedians do.
Right.
You've been masquerading that you're a comedian too. And that's the fallacy.
So
nobody in boxing fights out of their weight class. If you're a 130 pounder, you don't just show up with the 160 pounders. You stay in your weight class.
Is that what you wanted to do?
I can hear that.
No.
That she was out of her league when it came to, because
I didn't want to do any of it.
I know you didn't want to,
do any
but
of
once she took it there, did you feel that you had to go there? Oh, you
go where?
You could have said, Wanda, I didn't come here for that. I just want to do the interview. I just want to talk about what happened.
Oh, you misunderstand my job. My job is to be funny. My job is to be funny first. My first job is to be funny. My second job is to be respectful. My third job is to be immaculate and Gaza strip it. That's non-political. I'm saying if you do it, you let a terrorist accidentally touch over here, and I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. It'll literally be rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Why? Because that's why you should mind your business. This is what F around and find out is about.
Right.
Did the video freeze?
Have you ever been booed, Cat?
Yes. Yeah. I have.
What was that feeling like? Did it like want to give up? Because because when you have, I don't know how early it was in your career. Obviously, it hadn't been I don't think it's in the last decade because you've been immaculate.
Sorry, is the video froze? Oh, yeah.
Have you ever dropped a pass?
I have. I've been booed too.
You know the little segment between everything is fine and I got it, and then you noticing where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that. The thing about as a comedian, the audience's opinion is the only opinion that matters, not you, the writer, not none of that. And so I don't think any comedian has ever been booed unnecessarily either.
They deserve it.
Oh yeah. I'm saying what do they say when a guy shoots the air ball in the NBA? They say air ball to make sure everybody knows. But again, he still got to get back on D.
Right.
Like the game didn't end. He don't get to throw his hands up and sulk.
Right.
That's supposed to be used as a learning experience. Most comedians don't get booed enough. I mean, this is how you end up with a Michael Blackson who's a real African doing a fake African accent. Okay, this guy is mad at me. All I did was give him the best advice.
My stream messing up, bro. I hit the wrong button. And now the computer crashing.
Ding, 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 ding.
Dang. The computer messed up. Is doing some crazy stuff.
You finna start it over, or this the end of the stream?
I don't know. I can't do nothing. It ain't letting me do nothing. It's just stuck. Just stuck, bro. My bad. Whoever was watching the interview, my bad. Damn. And it won't come back on. Ain't that crazy?
Is that Jaleel laughing like that?
Yep. Is my camera froze?
No.
My camera not froze?
No, you're moving fine.
But I'm not moving on your end?
You're moving on my end, just not the video.
So my is delayed.
See, look. She just got speaking.
Now, Specs, you don't get no refund, bro. Hey, man. Look, say hi to everybody. Look, say hi to everybody while it's messed up. Say hey, everybody.
Hey, Jalea.
Hey, everybody.
Say hey, everybody.
Who's that?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jalili.
No.
It is.
No.
How's
Hey,
your
Janaya.
Specs said hey. Shadell said hey. Say hey, Shadell. She spaced out looking at what?
Yeah.
Why my live reactions not working?
Say hey, sister.
Who's that? Who's that?
Say hey, sister.
Who is that?
Why do I look backwards? What is going on?
It's Sissy. Sissy.
Dad,
Hey,
why do I look backwards?
I don't know.
This is not the right way.
Don't start this backwards, ma'am. Don't start this backwards. Nobody's introverted anything, Zaria.
I literally look
Get off
backwards.
my stream. Bye. Get off my stream. Dang, they bum rushed my joint. Krista, you could have joined the stream.
You just look at those links. I ain't see no link.
The link is in the chat.
That's how I joined. I clicked the link in the bio.
She gonna try to make it seem like nobody didn't send her something.
Stream,
Right,
y'all.
right, there you go.
Ow!
Now my computer's still loading. It's in the chat. You just gotta keep going.
It was never there.
It is enough.
I'm finna leave it. Wait, if I leave, I won't be able to join back, huh?
I don't know how to get it off. Like I messed it up. Command. Shoot.
Start the computer over.
Man, that's fucked up, y'all. My first stream, I messed it up, bro. Hold on, let me see something.
Did he just leave me in here? Am I the host of the stream now or something? Well, I guess I'm taking over the stream for a second. Okay, y'all. So obviously I had to keep y'all entertained while he's gone. So, Chels, aka my dad, is low. I don't know where he went. He disappeared for a second, so I had to take over. Right now I just played. Oh, never mind. He's
Take
back.
over what?
He's back. Never mind, guys.
Take over what?
I should have given them a story time.
And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens
we
to
back.
or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it,
Chels,
I
aka
promise
my
you
dad.
that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was going to play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Cat Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steven Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress.
Damn.
Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First
Damn,
Sunday?
Ricky Smiley?
Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So
that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none.
I think we
You would have to have a range. Bro. I played a lot of characters. I appreciate what competition does for sports and for my particular sport. And comedy is a sport.
What gave you the confidence that you could get on stage?
You remember I was 5 years old on stage.
Okay. So performing in front of people was no problem.
But I was reiterating God's word at that point. Oh. Now I just have to make sure that the content is good.
Asia, yeah, that's
good. What part can I not do? I'm a vessel. He's given me these gifts to be able to do
Shadell out his Facebook
so
jail.
I just want to utilize them in my craft.
Welcome back.
Do you remember your first set?
Welcome back, Shadelioso, in case you ain't know so.
How long? 5-10 minutes?
No. I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Standing ovation,
come on, get on the
some
show.
Applause, some jeers.
Come on, get up here.
None of that. They applauded like I was a professional at it. But now looking back, I understand, because you got to understand they were all thinking, he don't even look old enough to be in here. And we don't have any black guys that live in this town.
Right.
Where did he come from? And then he gets up there, and for 3 minutes, he talks about the fact that he is the entire black community.
Right.
The audio tripping.
And he is as disappointed in them. It looked like they looking for where the rest of them is. And so is he. And that was his set. But I understood from that point that the truth is really the commodity, and the fact that we are all individuals and all separate and all our own islands, but not in real life. In real life, it's only 5 or 6 different types of people, and you're going to see them everywhere that you go. And all my enemies all look the same in the eyes, whether it's Faison, Wanda, Aries Spears, they all look like...
Man, what you got against Wanda Sykes? You think I don't remember that?
Sir, Wanda Sykes and Wanda Smith are 2 separate people.
I mean, Wanda Smith.
And I had only said one name, sir.
Wanda Sykes
I'm
is amazing. I love Wanda.
And I agree.
I love Wanda. That's my girl. But I remember on the radio, you went on a radio interview. If I'm not mistaken, that's in Atlanta.
Right.
And you came on there with seemingly good intentions. And she attacked you.
It wasn't just that part. It was the fact that before I go in there, she has a conversation about, okay, now, I just want to talk to you because you just wanted Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on. Right. Okay. And we won't talk about your kids. We won't talk about jail, no cases. We ain't going to talk about none of that. Right. And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never going to call you out of your name. I'm never going to say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line. I got a call, but this lady is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled. Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory. So why are you trying to shame me with something in a community I don't even belong in? There's no gay people saying I belong over there or been over there. But I have no hatred of over there, and how dare you?
You did a number on it, though.
Hey.
You did a number on it. That's legendary.
No, you either believe in karma or you don't. Because I didn't even know any of the stuff that she had done to my fellow comedians until afterwards. I just know that it was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life for participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's 2 comedians. What do you mean? And the world was okay with it because it was me. Had that happened to anyone else, the world went crazy when Will smacked Chris. This is a person pulling a whole gun on a comedian in the confines of their job. It's really a weird situation when they hate you that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You felt she hated you at that moment because you mentioned that she said it was going to be very professional. Oh, you won an Emmy. Congratulations. You put the city on. You own for the city. Yada, yada, yada. And now, did she mention anything about the Emmy on camera?
I believe you saw the video and you know that none of that took place. See, the issue is that all the comedians have to come do these radio stations because you have to sell your tickets. And so that means you have to go to the radio station.
Yes.
I don't go to the radio station and I don't make posts to sell tickets. I just don't. So you've not seen me. I'm not here in some subservient position where somebody sent me over.
You here out of the kindness of your heart. You are.
No, I'm saying in the interview situation.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Yeah, and this person knew I wasn't there for that
But how hard, because you have to understand, she is a female. And so you have to be careful. You have to handle her with kid gloves.
Sir, you want to go ahead and take that out? You don't want to be against equality, do you?
No.
What you just said was very unequal, sir.
Bruh, but
I think maybe you've had enough of this. Because I think I just heard you say that women are not equal and should be treated unequally.
They want to be treated.
You mean
equal.
as a comedian?
No. Listen, you understand and I understand.
Yeah.
In certain situations, they want to be treated equal. Not all situations.
And what part of what you saw her get?
She deserved everything you gave her.
What part would have been different if she was a man? It would have just been more vicious.
Yeah, that's my point.
I took all the vicious and venom away because I didn't have any. Plus, I understood I'm not trying to offend black women with short hair. I'm not trying to offend heavyset women. I'm not trying to upset fellow comedians. I'm not trying to do any of that. And I am qualified to be able to do none of that and still eviscerate you because I'm smart enough to know that I need to say that you have gnarled fingers because I know your limited education means you don't know what the word means. So you can't possibly respond to it. You're not sure of the meaning. And I'm going to continue hitting you because this is what comedians do.
Right.
You've been masquerading that you're a comedian too. And that's the fallacy.
So
nobody in boxing fights out of their weight class. If you're a 130 pounder, you don't just show up with the 160 pounders. You stay in your weight class.
Is that what you wanted to do?
No.
That she was out of her league when it came to, because
I didn't want to do any of it.
I know you didn't want to, but once she took it there, did you feel that you had to go there? Oh, you
go where?
You could have said, Wanda, I didn't come here for that. I just want to do the interview. I just want to talk about what happened.
Oh, you misunderstand my job. My job is to be funny. My job is to be funny first. My first job is to be funny. My second job is to be respectful. My third job is to be immaculate and Gaza strip it. That's non-political. I'm saying if you do it, you let a terrorist accidentally touch over here, and I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. It'll literally be rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Why? Because that's why you should mind your business. This is what F around and find out is about.
Right. Have you ever been booed, Cat?
Yes.
I think the video went too back, man.
Yeah. I have.
What was that feeling like?
All right, y'all, I'm about to skip this
Want
up.
to give up?
What you said?
Because when you have, I don't know how early it was in your career. Obviously, it hadn't been I don't think it's in the last decade because you've been immaculate.
Have you ever dropped a pass?
I have.
Rich in this business at 18 years old, had already did his first $1 million contract, had already broken records, was determined that he didn't want to be like anybody else, was so great of a guitar player that black people just stopped caring about guitar, and he got left out on a limb and somehow still had to create his way out of that. He was just really a 1 in a billion type person. I was lucky to know him.
Now, there are specials and the streaming. I don't know. I don't think there's as many, and there's no DVDs now. So where are you on this streaming, the specials? I mean, obviously you still tour, but how much do you focus on? Okay, I'm gonna tour, say 100 days or 150 days, but I'm gonna do a special.
Well, now that our relationship with Netflix is at the 8-figure mark,
8?
How
you said 8?
How often you want to make them?
Oh, you said 8? I mean, like
right.
5, 6, 7, 8?
Got to be 10 million to qualify. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, once you're at that level, how many would you do? I'd be willing to bet you say, every time you turn around, I'm gonna be doing another one.
Hey.
I think that's what you would say if you was any good.
Yeah.
And
for
like I
sure.
said, with 12 comedy specials, why do I need to be in these conversations with these specialist people? Sid ain't got no specials you remember. Steve ain't got no specials you remember. Ricky ain't got no specials you remember. Faison ain't got no. What? So why do y'all
Quake did
get
a
to
special.
Yep, it was 20 minutes long.
It was good too, though.
It was. He's good. Not it was good. He's
Yeah,
good.
see, Quake my
He's
guy.
good. Don't think because I said something derogatory that I don't know how to hate. Earthquake has consistently, I don't think anybody's ever said Quake wasn't funny. He probably never been booed.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever given a bad performance in
Nathaniel,
his
my
life.
dog.
But his just due was overdue. He was in a whole different situation.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't able to translate the stand-up to the movie
Movies for
thing,
TV.
he took a hit. Most people don't take a hit. They're just judged on their stand-up.
Right.
So yeah, no. I even though it sounds like there's a lot of people that's not the case. I'm a proponent of all of us who are in this business working hard trying to make it.
When you got into stand up, was crossing over, was doing TV, was doing movie, was that a part of it? You're like, okay, I'm doing stand up. Okay, the next progression is TV movies.
Throughout the history of stand up, sir. That's the goal for all of us. That's how it goes. That's why when you hear these dudes talking about, oh, I didn't want to be a movie star, you just know it's disingenuous. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, oh, no, I just wanted to do a game show.
Right.
What? Are you sure? Because I thought you did Mark Curry's show over after he had just done hanging with Mr. Cooper. Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude's stand-up when you go on the road? And then you never put Mark Curry on your show or nothing. Like, if you don't say anything, these dudes will run over you. I don't know if you know how bullies operate. But
do.
if you don't stand up for yourself, there really is nothing they won't do.
Right. You're a very generous man, Cat. You're the sole sponsor of Melba Moore getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You did all that on your own. Why? Do you have a personal relationship with Melba?
No. I understood that she was a Black woman in a time where it mattered what you look like, and they had a certain thing that they needed you to look like and act like in order to be successful.
Right.
And she just never did that. She wasn't tall enough. She wasn't fine. They didn't like her looks. They didn't like that her hair was natural. They talked crazy about her, and yet she still made all of these achievements. And I'm like, understand, I'm already in the Comedy Hall of Fame. I'm already going to heaven no matter what happens. If it ends in a second, I'm up there. So it gives me the leeway to do some things that are simply because it's the right thing to do. So the truth of the matter is they wanted to give me a star, but please don't consider me and this person been sitting on this list this whole time. And just because they ain't got enough money, they can't get they just due? That's crazy. When do you start? That's hurtful. What if somebody can't afford their flowers? You mean they don't get them?